attacks and attacks on targeted individuals are side effects from being saturated by an L1 1575.42 MHz microwave GPS data spoofing system. Yes, they are both one in the same. A GPS data spoofing system provides three major functions: hacking, surveillance, and torture. Meaning our GPS GNSS system can and is being hacked and manipulated by terrorists and/or organized gang members, and someone needs to deal with this now. My family and I have no money. We don't use or sell drugs. We don't even have a working computer. We have no reason to have a GPS data spoofing signal around our home for the reasons of hacking and/or surveillance. The only reason for these terrorists, organized gang members, to have a GPS data spoofing signal around our home is to inflict torture, harassment upon me and my family by saturating our home with a GPS data spoofing signal, which with prolonged saturation from this microwave signal causes mammal targets within targeted area electromagnetic hypersensitivity syndrome and microwave auditory effect hearing, FRE effect aka Havana syndrome attacks caused by saturation of a modified L1 1575.42 MHz microwave GPS carrier signal. They have no other reason but just to torture us. Why they would be doing this to us, you would have to ask them. GPS data spoofing causing side effects: Havana syndrome attacks happening daily in California. Terrorists groups and/or organized gang members have to have base stations. The best set UPS would be one in a normal non-specific area like that of a residential neighborhood. Believe me when I tell you I am reporting a terrorists group and/or organized gang members on the streets of Deborah Doctor and Arlene Court in Indio, California. They are using a spoofed GPS L1 1575.42 MHz microwave carrier signal in this and surrounding neighborhoods, and because this is a global system, God only knows how far they are taking this. GPS data spoofing is used for hacking and surveillance. Microwave data sharing must be done by direct line of sight. GPS data spoofing works by complete saturation of a targeted, selected area and/or targeted, selected person, creating not just direct line of sight, but direct connectivity, working more like a network cloud, able to produce phase synchronization, hacking, and audio surveillance from within this GPS data spoofing network cloud. Saturation from this GPS data spoofing network cloud causes electromagnetic hypersensitivity syndrome, microwave auditory effect hearing, FRE effect aka Havana syndrome attacks targeting individuals, locations. GPS data spoofing works by targeting a place or electronic device and locking on with the aid of the digital phase locked loop, saturating it with an L1 1575.42 MHz microwave carrier signal used for hacking and surveillance. Targeting performed with GNSS satellite system. GPS data spoofing is produced with PC computer with Windows 10 or higher. Linux can also be used. Hacker RF combining. RTLSDR. Digital phase locked loop. An L1 1575.42 MHz microwave GPS carrier signal. GPS transceiver antenna sends and receives binary code, digital data. Creating a pulse electromagnetic microwave phase locked tethering loop connecting terrorists, organized gang members to target to send and receive digital, binary code information and produced audio surveillance from within saturated targeted area. Warning. This is to inform, not for instructional purposes. Do not construct or use on anyone or any place. Havana syndrome attacks and attacks on targeted individuals solved. Havana syndrome, cricket, noise and V2 kelvins, solved, and now I am going to explain to you how this system works. GPS data spoofing creates an electromagnetic, microwave tethering pulse phase locked loop from terrorists, hackers, organized gang members to target and back, which is used for electronic hacking, monitoring, and audio surveillance. Equipment to produce and what they do. PC with Windows 10 or higher. Linux can also be used. This is used to combine, monitor, receive, and send GPS data spoofing signal transceiver, data antenna sends and receives binary code information and more, digital phase locked loop. Used for phase synchronization, matching frequency with wireless electronics. This works like a brand new TV remote connecting to a television. Also aids in locking onto targets wireless electronics and location when combined with an L1 1575.42 MHz. IT is then called a differential vector phase locked loop. RTLSDR. Used to convert modulate digital information and audio from within targeted area into frequency modulated radio signals. It can even convert keystrokes you make on your computer into radio frequencies. This is called air gapping. Please keep in mind, this can all be done with GPS data spoofing, all done by saturating a place or person with the most accurate targeting mapping system known to man, our GPS GNSS satellite system. Microwave data sharing works by direct line of sight. GPS data spoofing works by saturation of an entire area blanketing a target with an L1 1575.42 MHz microwave carrier signal. Yes, a microwave signal that can carry information, data-specific data with the right modifications, making a GPS data spoofing system direct connectivity to anyone's wireless electronics. Side effects by being saturated with a GPS data spoofing system: electromagnetic hypersensitivity syndrome, and microwave auditory effect hearing, Frey effect. These are the true technical names for side effects from being saturated with L1 1575.42 MHz microwave GPS carrier signal used for GPS data spoofing. These side effects are better known as Havana syndrome attacks, and attacks on targeted individuals. Yes, they are one in the same. Electromagnetic hypersensitivity syndrome is characterized by a variety of nonspecific symptoms, which afflicted individuals attribute to exposure to electromagnetic microwave fields. The symptoms most commonly experienced include dermatological symptoms, redness, tingling, burning sensations, and itching, as well as neurasthenic and vegetative symptoms, vertigo, fatigue, tiredness, concentration difficulties, memory loss, dizziness, nausea, heart palpitations, and digestive disturbances. The collection of symptoms is not part of any recognized syndrome. Microwave auditory effect hearing, Frey effect. This causes swelling and heating of the cochlea and temporal lobe, enabling target mammals, humans within saturated area, creating the ability to hear electromagnetic waves and radio frequencies and whatever is being carried on those radio frequencies, making target think they are insane, hearing buzzing, hissing, and even voices carried on the radio frequencies from within this system that would never be heard without the use of wireless communication electronics. The hearing of electromagnetic microwave pulses is a unique exception to the airborne or bone conducted sound energy normally encountered in human auditory perception. The hearing apparatus commonly responds to airborne or bone conducted acoustic or sound pressure waves in the audible frequency range. But the hearing of microwave pulses involves electromagnetic waves whose frequency ranges from 200 MHz to 6 GHz. A data spoofing system uses L1 1575.42 MHz as well within the range for microwave auditory effect hearing. GPS data spoofing being a L1 1575.42 MHz microwave GPS carrier signal. Carrier wave provides global mobility and targeting for this system. Since electromagnetic waves, e.g., light, are seen but not heard, the report of auditory perception of microwave pulses was at once astonishing and intriguing. Moreover, it stood in sharp contrast to the responses associated with continuous wave microwave radiation. Experimental and theoretical studies have shown that the microwave auditory phenomenon does not arise from an interaction of microwave pulses directly with the auditory nerves or neurons along the auditory neurophysiological pathways of the central nervous system. Instead, the microwave pulse, upon absorption by soft tissues in the head, launches a thermoelastic wave of acoustic pressure that travels by bone conduction to the inner ear. There, it activates the cochlear receptors via the same process involved for normal hearing. Aside from tissue heating, microwave auditory effect is the most widely accepted biological effect of microwave radiation with a known mechanism of interaction, the thermoelastic theory. So what the target diplomats, civilians saturated in this spoofed differential vector phase locked loop microwave network cloud used for surveillance and torture are actually hearing is a mixture of electromagnetic induced tinnitus with the combination of a pulse electromagnetic microwave phase locked loop. They are all done by being saturated for a period of time with a GPS data spoofing system. This is why when first responders show up and do not hear anything, it is because their bodies have not had time to absorb the microwave radiation produced by the spoofed microwave network cloud saturated area. A person must be saturated for a period of time with a modified spoofed GPS microwave L1 1575.42 MHz network cloud to be stricken with Havana syndrome attacks, electromagnetic hypersensitivity syndrome, which means if they are experiencing symptoms they have been under surveillance for a while. The voltage control oscillator from the digital phase locked loop controls how much power is fed into this system or taken, so the more, less power the stronger, weaker the electromagnetic phase locked loop, the more, less pressure and sound the target experiences, and the more, less torture the target is put through. Ways to detect a Havana syndrome attack: saturation from a spoofed pulse microwave differential vector phase locked loop. GPS spoofing, which is interference by saturating targeted area. This then interrupts the target's normal GPS signal. This is how diplomats and basically anyone can tell immediately if they are under a Havana syndrome attack. 1. Google search their immediate location, the address they are at right at that moment then. 2. Bring it up on Google Maps. 3. The blue location indicator will be moving independently and at times not even in the approximate location that the diplomat target are in. This system is made up with oscillating electromagnetic waves, microwaves, and radio frequencies. Oscillating, which can be controlled with the VCO from the digital phase locked loop, produces low to moderate forms of radiation which can be detected by a thermal camera. I have proof. Not infrared but a thermal camera. It looks like a glowing wall around targeted area. It also radiates the target's water supply, and that can be seen as well with a thermal camera. The side effects from this global hacking, surveillance, targeting system makes the targeted individuals think they are going insane, thus stopping them from reporting these attacks. It needs to stop. I, Anthony Arellano, have solved how GPS data hacking is responsible for Havana syndrome attacks, and attacks on targeted individuals, and more. My family and I are and have been living in a GPS data spoofing system for over a decade. Side effects include electromagnetic hypersensitivity syndrome and microwave auditory effect hearing, Frey effect, aka Havana syndrome attacks. My family and I should be getting reward, after reward, after reward, and compensation for being ignored and allowed to be tortured for years, but the truth of the matter is my family and I can't even get assistance.